or counteroffer, don't. Okay, I know it's not cute. It's literally just cardboard and paper that I glued together. Hi, and welcome to Black Holes and Books, where we read, and we talk about books, and we do whatever other little projects I feel like doing. I mostly read. Today, we're going to be starting a reading vlog in which I only read one book. And that one book is Carl's Doomsday Scenario. It is the second book in the Dungeon Crawler Carl series. And honestly, it is high time that I finally get around to this. That being said, since I'm only reading this one book, my plan is that this will be a very spoiler-filled reading vlog. So if you have not read this and want to read this and you don't want spoilers, now is your chance to leave. Like, I'm serious. I'm gonna say whatever I want about this book. So if you don't want to know what happens in this book yet, don't watch this video yet. But yeah, literally that's all we're doing in this video. Well, that and like maybe one other thing. So, as you can see, I have changed my setup a little bit since like my last vlog. So I now have a bookshelf right here, right next to my desk. Let me give you the full effect of what we're looking at now, actually. So we have my bookshelf here, my main bookshelf that, you know, you should be quite familiar with now. And then we have added this bookshelf here, right next to my desk. It's like, here's my desk, here's my new bookshelf, because this one was getting a little full. I have a bunch of plants here right now that have just been on this floor because this window faces east, and so it gets a lot of the morning light, which is really nice. So they've just been here to get some sunlight. But I think I might want to like move them a little bit because I kind of want to make this into a cozy reading corner where I can sit and read. We're going to try and do that. We're going to test it out tonight, see how cozy it is, and go from there. Let's get right on into it. Honestly, there's no point in not getting right into this. Go ahead and do our first update on Carl's Doomsday Scenario. I am on page 116 and we're having a great time. I don't know, I feel like I'm cruising through this because like, I don't know, these are so fast paced that I just, you know, you just get through it. But anyway, so Carl and Donut chose their races and their class. Donut like not even looking at anything other than cat was like so weird. On the one hand, I get it because if I were in that situation, I'd probably also want to stay human or like, you know, very close to human. Like I don't really want extra limbs or different textured skin. Like, I don't know. I like my body the way it is and I would like to keep it. So on the one hand, I do understand where Donut's coming from with like, I don't really want to change, but like, I still feel like it's at least interesting to know what the other options are. Because bare minimum, at least you know what like other people may have chosen. And thus like, you know, you have a bit more of a frame of reference. Anyway, that's crazy. Also, I like that we have more Mordecai now. Like, he's just around a lot more. I think that's going to be fun. Because, yeah, like, I don't know. I think he can add a lot of interesting aspects to this through his alcoholism, but then also, like, just how smart he is. So that'll be good. I don't know. I think Mordecai's an interesting character, so I'm glad we get to see more of him. And I think it'll be entertaining, at the very least. I don't know why, but when I read the first book and they like learn about this Damien character who's also touched more on in like the backstage at the Pineapple Cabaret, like the little end chapter that was at the end of the first book. Anyway, the Damien guy who's like, the manager of that floor or whatever. When we first heard about Damien, for whatever reason, assumed that that was Mordecai's brother. And I don't know why I assumed that. Because, like, Mordecai very clearly is like, no, my brother died. Another question. How does Mordecai have his mother's ashes? I don't know. I want more Mordecai backstory, is what I'm saying. And that's part of why I'm glad that we get to see more of him. Because I feel like now our chances of learning more of his backstory are more likely. So, there you go. Other than that, we're just getting up to shenanigans. Carl is like just blowing things up, which I guess makes sense because like you have this cover, but like the inside literally just says boom. So between that and the giant explosion on the front cover, I did make some assumptions that there would be a lot of explosions in this book. And you know what? I am right. Context clues, my guy. That was the bare minimum of observation skills, though. I'm going to be entirely honest. Some of this stuff is just really sad. Like the Heather the bear. Sorry, I like just read that part. It's so sad. No one is treated well here. Just even if you're like not a crawler, your life still sucks. Like you're just making miserable people fight and kill other miserable people, which is just terrible. That's probably part of the whole point of the book, but like still, yikes. That's where we're at now. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if I get through this book pretty quickly. In the meantime, I have work I need to get done, and so I kind of need to clean up this reading corner. So we're going to go ahead and get her cleaned up and just all put away. So that way I'll probably bring it back out this evening when I start reading. But anyway, let's get her cleaned up. I am done working for the day, so we're going to go ahead and start reading more of Carl's Doomsday scenario. So that's really all I have. I am hoping to, I don't know, get a decent bit of the way through the book again this evening. So there we go. Let's get cracking. Sorry, this is just me interjecting randomly. I think it's so interesting that we as a society have made circuses into such a different thing than what they originally were. Like now, if you talk to someone like from the 21st century and like ask about circuses, they're so much more likely to be like, horror movies and like all of these terrible things. Whereas like before, like originally circuses were like just entertainment. Like that's really all it was. Clearly there were some ethical issues, but like, most people were just kind of like, yeah, that's where you go for a good time. But now the script is just so flipped. Like it's just only associated with like horror stuff now. Anyway, sorry, that's just a random interjection because this is very much following the circuses equal horror and nightmares category, which is fun. I'm enjoying it. Okay, so we changed locations just because I felt like it. I wanted a change of scenery. Anyway, in Carl's Doomsday scenario, I'm on page 160, which is where he just got the upgrade to his underpants. So funny. So funny. Also, like, this is the most, hey, if you thought the prizes were random, you're an absolute idiot moment of this book. Because, yeah. I guess there's nothing quite like being bribed to continue going around in your underwear. This AI is totally just like just straight up bribing Carl to like not wear shoes and to not wear pants, which is just the weirdest thing. But like at the same time, his underpants are now very valuable for him, which is just so stupid. I just want to talk about that because that was freaking funny. Poor Carl, he's so excited. He's like, oh, I have money. I can just go buy myself some pants. Then the AI is just like, or counteroffer, don't. Anyway, I'm going to keep reading. Alright, so I wanted to give an update because I didn't update yesterday and I really should have because I did do a fair bit of reading. Anyway, I'm on page 286 now. I have less than 100 pages left. We got about that much left. Sorry, I keep sighing heavily. I had to take my asthma meds earlier. But anyway, I'm hoping to get it done this evening. I think that is very achievable because, there's not that much left. And also this book has been absolutely flying. So, I'm going to finish this up tonight. I did first want to give some thoughts on like some of the stuff that's happening. Oh, but first, before I give you an update on my thoughts on this, full spoilers, as we have been doing, I just wanted to show you some stuff. First thing, I have made bookmarks. So I'll get like paint samples and then I'll just like paint on them and, use them as bookmarks. So like I made this one. I don't know how well you can see it, but I have this one. I made it and it's like inspired by the cover of the first book, which is, very fun and cute. And then, sorry, again, it's been an asthma-y day. And so I keep like, because I'm not like having a full asthma attack, but like it feels like there's just like a child, like a small, like 30 to 40 pound child sitting on my chest. So it's like, yes, I can breathe, but I am a little uncomfy. I'm sorry about that. I'm probably going to edit most of the heavy sighs out, but they're here. Anyway, sorry, back to the bookmarks. And then I was going to make one inspired by like the cover of the first book. If I would have read the book first before I started it, I think I'd honestly do a clown tent instead because I think that'd be really fun and really cute. But alas, I haven't done that, and that's fine. I could just make a bajillion bookmarks, honestly. I haven't like quite finished this because I kind of want to put like, I don't feel like grabbing the dust jacket, but like on the dust jacket, how it has like Carl and Donut running from the explosion. I kind of wanted to put that. But also like low-key, I kind of like just the explosion. Also, I'm really bad at painting and I'm also kind of lazy. And so if I decide I'm happy with just this, then I can just Mod Podge the cover and just be done with this. Basically, I'm saying, isn't it cute? That's the whole moral of the story. I also put like a little bomb because it's just cute. And then I need to do the one for the third book. I'm probably going to do like a little train because there's a little train on the cover. Actually, I don't know if it's a train or a subway, but like, I don't know. They're basically the same thing. One's just underground. Anyway, that's the moral of the story. I was cleaning out my desk and I'd kind of forgotten about this, not gonna lie. But then I found it. But speaking of cleaning out my desk, I made this doohickey because I've been wanting to make this for a while, and it's literally just because I have cardstock paper and then I have normal copy paper. And so the cardstock will go in here, and then the copy paper will go here, and then there's this extra little shelf. It can't hold much because she's not that strong. But anyway, I just made this so that I could organize my desk better. So it really has exactly zero relevance to literally any other part of this video, but like, it's cute, right? Okay, I know it's not cute. It's literally just cardboard and paper that I glued together, but like, shut up. It's cute. It's useful, okay? It's better than cute. It's useful. So don't even. But anyway, that's the entire moral of the story. But now we can talk about things that actually pertain to the book that we've been reading in this vlog. Carl's Doomsday scenario. One thing, I think it's kind of, I have been liking how Carl has started doing like the play calling almost, like when they're fighting different mobs. So like how they have like Mold Lion and, oh, I forget the names of the others. Like, I think that's a really smart thing for him to do. And I think, I don't know, it's just clever. I appreciate it. I think, he's on it. There is a decent amount of emotional depth to this. Like, if you do any sort of like slightly more critical thinking about this book, you do see that there is like quite a bit, honestly, of emotional depth. You can see how Carl really is trying to fight the system, but also struggling with it because like he's so in over his head that he was thrown into the situation. He has like little to no control. Like, aliens took over his planet, and he's being forced to do these terrible things, and like this system is trying to force him to honestly be a terrible human being, and it's just trying to be like, hey, you need to kill other people, or you need to kill these other mobs, and like, but like you're realizing like, no, these mobs really aren't bad people. Like, some of them have like evil backstories or things like that, but like at the end of the day, the mobs are just as much a victim as Carl is, and he's trying to like come to terms with like, I have to kill these mobs or I'm gonna die, but also I have to kill people. Like, yeah, they're not humans, but like I have to kill people. That is really hard, and I like how it showed Carl trying to handle that with the city boss. It's like the Vine that he fought, where he's like, he had this opportunity to like do something that would have made like, quote unquote, the system, like the people running the game and all of that, really like happy and proud, and like, I don't know, like they would have been quite thrilled if Carl would have killed the Vine, because he clearly made it, quite obvious that he could do it, but then he chose not to. And like, he was able to take that control back and forced them to act in a more humane way by choosing to like not play their game, which, I don't know, like it shows how he's rebelling against the system, but like doing it in a way where it's like, I don't know, like it's just, you have this system that creates so much content and entertainment by like hurting people, and Carl's trying to make them flip the script of like, no, but like you don't have to kill or hurt people to have entertainment. Like, you can have a meaningful story without absurd amounts of death. You don't need death for the sake of death. I thought that was handled in a very interesting way, and I think, I don't know what it is about this series, but it's kind of been making me think a lot about like how I would have felt if I read it when I was like maybe a little younger versus me reading it now. So, for example, with the city boss, I think, if granted, I don't think this is really a kid's book, so I probably shouldn't have read it as a kid's book, especially considering how much it swore, but like, still, you get the idea. If I would have read this when I was like 12, I would have been really upset with Carl for not killing the city boss, because then it's like, no, but like, that's like a huge, huge achievement, but like, now that I'm more mature and older, I recognize, no, he took his own power back by not killing the city boss. Like, it's more impressive for him to have not done it, because it shows this moral restraint that, like, Carl is rebelling by keeping his humanity, and he's keeping his humanity by being kind. And I think that would have gone over my head as a kid, but I appreciate the fact that like now I'm kind of able to be like, I respect it, Those are just my thoughts so far. I'm trying to think if I have any others. Oh, there was something I wanted to say. Like, with Carl rebelling by keeping his humanity, he also kind of talks about it. Like, he made a comment in the first book that I honestly really liked. I don't remember the exact quote, but it was like, we was talking, like, I think it was Brandon with like the old folks home, and how that guy was like, hey, like, thanks so much for helping us. Like, you're here and you're really helping us. And Carl's like, he says something along the lines of like, yeah, well, like, when humanity doesn't stop to help each other, like when we as people don't stop to help each other, that's when we've truly lost. Like, and again, I'm paraphrasing, that is not the direct quote at all. But like, again, it's just like this theme of what makes us human and what makes us strong and what makes us powerful is choosing to be kind and choosing to help people out, even if it's really inconvenient for you, and even if it's not entertaining and it's boring to help other people. Like, you still have to do it. Like, that's just part of being a good person. Now that I've waxed long about that, let's read the last little bit of this book, and then I will give you more thoughts on whatever happens here at the end.
That girl is a runner. She was born onto the highway. I should have seen it coming through the years left in the dust. But after all the lessons learned, it would end the both of us. There's a first for everything, like a hand holding mine. Now I'm left here.
Donut and Carl are having a conversation about, like, you know, what do you want to be when you grow up? Kind of, you know, that kind of conversation. And Donut, she's like, I would write TV shows. And she's talking about, like, how her and Zev are going to start a television show where they, like, remake Gossip Girl, whatever. And he's like, Carl's like, oh, is that right? And then Donut says, Zev says the shows on Earth are better than anything she's ever seen. We could make new ones and bring them to the universe. Maybe if the television shows are good enough, people wouldn't be so interested in watching real life people kill each other, she said. I don't know. I'm so proud of Donut. Yeah, anyway, there you have it.
From a heartbreak, been through it all, but now it's time to go our separate ways. There's a first for everything, like a hand.
I love calling how Carl calls, like, the evil villain monologue thing that happens all the time. He's like, I needed to get the bad guy soliloquy. Fair enough.
The thing that I forgot would set her free. I taught her how to leave.
Alright, I have finished Carl's Doomsday scenario. That was a wild ride. Talk about a dramatic ending, though. Honestly, I feel like it was quite fantastic. My thoughts on it. One, I feel like, so Carl has, like, this Doomsday scenario bomb that is just, like, in his inventory now. And on some level, I feel like at some point, like, something weird's gonna happen. Like, what if he accidentally takes it out of his inventory? Anyway, that's just me hyperfixating on something that is not currently a problem. I felt bad that he had to, like, go down the stairs early. Or that he thought he had to go down the stairs early. That sucked. Also, the celestial package thing. I'm gonna be honest, when they were explaining the whole, like, hey, this is expensive, like, these are the rules around it and stuff, it was a little confusing. Basically, the gist of it that I got is celestial packages are expensive, and they make them expensive so that not everyone gets them. Also, some of my thoughts on, like, the AI, I think is very interesting, and the AI definitely did some interesting things in that, like, ending scene. Because, one, you have the thing where, like, it didn't detonate some of Carl's bombs that he had previously set that would have, like, just killed everyone, which seems like it's, like, blatantly breaking rules of the game. And this may just be, like, my brain trying to, like, make sense of things, but it seems like the AI will kind of, hey, because you've shortened the time span, I'm going to give the crawlers better packages, like, you know, to kind of even things out. And so it makes me wonder what exactly the AI felt Borant did that warranted it's like, okay, well, to make things even, I have to make this bomb not go off. I don't know, like, more specific on that, because I feel like, obviously, the whole thing is kind of, like, the whole situation is obviously unfair. And, like, being thrown into that quest that, like, really wasn't much of a quest, but whatever. But, like, everyone being thrown into that quest was unfair, and so I wonder if it's, like, the AI said, like, oh, because these people didn't choose this quest and they did nothing to deserve this quest, the quest being that, hey, the bomb's gonna blow off, just don't die. If the AI determined, like, that quest was so unfair that it needed to do something, like, also very unfair to, like, even it out. I don't know. But I also think it's very interesting because now we can play around with, because Borant vetoed the AI's ruling with, like, giving people celestial boxes, now the AI can kind of do whatever it wants. And, like, no one can stop it, which I think could make things interesting. But I don't know. Honestly, I have no idea. Anyway, that's just me spitballing. I wish we had a chance to get more of the politics. Like right now we're just getting like little nuggets of like, oh, but like also it's like, but we can't talk about it, which is frustrating. Also, I don't know what it is, but I've been feeling like I've been like 3 steps behind the characters for a lot of these books, and also just in my reading in general. Because like I know there have been times where like, especially if I'm reading like a lot, then I just like characters say something and like I can see their plans super well. Like I can just like, I don't know, lock in on it. And I feel like I have not been able to do that with the books I've been reading lately. Most specifically this one. Like Carl's plans, I have not been able to guess. I've just been along for the ride. I did enjoy this, and I am very excited to read the next one. I'm looking forward to that. It'll be good. The next one is a lot thicker than this. This one also just blew by. Anyway, sorry. I'm going on a tangent. I really don't need to be going on this tangent. Suffice it to say, loved this. Very much enjoyed it. I think, like in this, you hit a lot of emotional beats where, things are happening, characters are trying to process trauma. You have Donut like kind of growing up and maturing a lot in here as well that I think is very interesting. And then I think we got more allusions to like some childhood trauma that Carl has that I think I heard someone mention like you get more of Carl getting flashbacks to his childhood. So that'll be interesting. Especially because like I personally have a theory. And this is just, I don't know, me having thoughts. So if you don't want my thoughts, then I don't know, skip this part, I guess. But anyway, my thought is Carl being assigned to Mordecai was not like a random thing because I mean they were kind of talking about it in here where other people's mentors just suck. Like you had Maggie Mai and what was his name? Dave? Was his name Dave? Sorry, Maggie Mai and Maggie Mai's husband. Their mentor literally just told them like, "Yeah, go kill the other crawlers. That's how you win." And it's like, "Pug, that's not how you win." I mean, I guess that could be a strategy, but like objectively that is a terrible thing to say as a mentor. But and then you also have like Katya's mentor who was like, "Oh yeah, like pick whatever race and class you want." And she was just so unhelpful. Like all these mentors are so unhelpful that it's very interesting that Mordecai's not. And I want to one know why Mordecai actually does his job decently well. Because presumably the mentors are all in similar situations to each other. And so like why is Mordecai not given up on doing a good job when like the other mentors have? And then also Carl being assigned to Mordecai and Mordecai also having like gone through with Odette and so then Odette's able to help Carl. Like I feel like it's not very random because I don't know, like it just doesn't. So that I feel like the AI in some way maybe did something or I don't know. But I have a hunch that Carl ending up in Mordecai's safe room was not an accident. Just like how, the packages are not an accident. Anyway, sorry, that was my tangent. Those were my thoughts. Full spoilers. I'm sorry. I just wanted to talk to someone about this. Immaculate. Thanks for staying till the end. I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this up. So thank you for joining me. I really enjoyed reading Carl's Doomsday scenario. If you enjoyed this content and want more like it, please like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.